Hey, our upgrade pace is looking solid right now, but I do think we need to push harder if we want to stay competitive. Here's the report.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and episode number 30 of my F1 2016 career mode story. And as you can see, we're here for season 2 and round 9, which is the Austrian Grand Prix. And getting straight down to business here for Friday practice. And luckily, unlike Mick Schumacher career mode, I can actually bring you this race because nothing went wrong with my recording. So as you can see, we're just getting down to business and trying to get a good feel for the track and also get a setup on the car that works nicely for us. And at the same time, hit most of the R&D objectives for the weekend. And so far, first impressions in practice, the car was working very nicely around this track. And even in the long run, when I did the tyre wear test in the long runs, it felt really competitive and overall just really solid. I did notice that Raikkonen was a little bit quick around this particular track, but you'll notice also in the video I make a few mistakes in the live commentary. Keep saying that this track is round 8 when it's actually round 9. So obviously I'm post commentating this part of the video, but the actual live comment itself, I keep saying this is round 8 when it's not, because round 8 is Baku. But nevertheless, this was practice. As you can see, we closed things off with a fairly decent lap time actually in the qualifying test. Not going purple, unfortunately, but still a pretty competitive lap time nonetheless. And that would move us swiftly on to the story of qualifying, where, you know, if we can carry this pace over into Saturday, then we've got a very good chance of getting a very good grid position, because our qualifying's been pretty poor lately. So without further ado, let's jump into the qualifying report. So here we are for a beautiful Saturday afternoon for qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring, and the big massive burgundy wall in the background representative of that name. And round 9 of the season, a very good track, one of my favourites. I really like this track. I know he hasn't provided the best racing in the past, but I've got a soft spot for this track. It's been a bit of a classic on the F1 calendar, and it's one that, you know, in terms of racing in real life, it's not particularly great, but in terms of just getting satisfaction out of a lap time, if you hook this track up, then it's a very nice lap to get right. But so far so good, as we absolutely smashed the first up in Q1, comfortably getting through into the second part of qualifying on a set of ultra soft tyres. And we moved into Q2 just after that, and the rain actually made its presence felt out of nowhere in Q2, and it rained really hard at the start of Q2, but luckily it dried up by the end, and I left it right to the very last second to go out and do a lap in Q2. And it's going to be a question of, can we get the car through into the top 10? There are some people who have decided not to go out on the dry tyres and stay on the intermediates. As we come across the line, we managed to make it into Q3 there with a pretty decent lap time in first place. Obviously, a lot of people, especially some of the faster guys like Raikkonen, not setting a lap time on the ultra soft tyres, but that was us into Q3 quite comfortably, and we're now going to move into Q3 itself, the final part of qualifying, and this is our best lap of the session, and we're going to guide you through the lap. So coming to the first corner, just after the 100 metre board, down a third gear, maybe fourth, whatever you prefer, trying to get some good traction on the exit of turn 1, which the back end really wants to try and step out on you from. And as we now make our way down this big straight, up the little bit of a crest here into turn 2, braking just after the 100 metre board once again, making sure that you kiss the apex just about there. And now it's crucial that you pick up the traction on the exit of this corner, as traction is really important, especially in this DRS zone, as it propels you down into this another little short squat of the power down into turn 3. Once again, just after the 100 metre ball, down the third gear, make sure you kiss the apex there, don't run out too wide as we get on the power now, going through turn 4 absolutely flat out, and then prepare ourselves for a sort of blind turn 5 where the apex also sort of falls away from you and you can't really spot it too well, trying to get on the power as soon as possible as we swing it into turn 6 and 5th gear, missing my apex quite badly there actually. And the worst corner I've done so far in this lap is we now go through 7, now preparing ourselves for the penultimate corner, turn 8, dropping it down 6th gear, maybe dipping into 5th for a bit of front end bite, and then run a little bit wide there as we now go into the final corner, 4th gear, running as wide as you can, open up the DRS. As we come across the line, it's going to be a lap time good enough for, I believe, P4 at least at the moment I did the lap, and it looks like, yeah, it could be P4 for the Austrian Grand Prix. So a pretty good qualifying lap there, and one of my better qualifyings actually, because qualifying isn't really my strong point, and it's a session that I particularly struggle to get the ultimate lap time out of. And I've got to say, Kimi Raikkonen there with an absolute stunker of a lap time. There was a good chance we could have got the Red Bulls, but Raikkonen was out of reach that race. But nevertheless, that was qualifying, and we're now going to move into the race. Okay, so here we go then. It's Sunday. It's race day for round 8 of the season here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. A very overcast Austrian Grand Prix, but fingers crossed there shouldn't be any rain in the air whatsoever. Looking at the race prediction, as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a cloud to start and end the race, but the sun in between. This is going to be the strategy that we're going to be going for this race. Fingers crossed it's the most but I'd say the most suited strategy for us today. Who knows, I might add another pit stop in, I might take one away, just depends how the conditions go and how the tyres hold up. But overall, 2-stop is going to be the plan of action, and also running quite the limit with the fuel, because I thought I can save quite a nice bit of petrol in the back of the car around this track. So hopefully that is a good strategy for us, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to this Grand Prix. And yeah, qualifying reasonably well, a better qualifying than what I normally do. I seem to struggle in qualifying, and I can't really get pole position for some reason, especially around this track. And the AI just seemed to really pull one out of the bag, whereas in the race I've got much better pace. So anyway, P4 is Ferrari versus Red Bull, pretty much in Red Bull's home race. So it's time to get going, and it's game on for the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on for round 8 of the season, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go here for the Austrian Grand Prix, trying to pick up some traction off the line here. Very squirmy exit. Hamilton having a sniff up the inside on the super soft tyres here. We're going to have to go 3-1 into turn 1, trying to find a gap here. We've got both of Mercedes at each side of us, Rosberg and Hamilton. We managed to get past both of them, and now both of the Red Bulls are going at it up ahead, hammer and tongs into turn number 2, into the braking zone for the first time this race. Going to try and brake nice and late, take a bit of an alternate line, switch back on these two and try and pick up the traction here. We've got Verstappen on a soft tyre, so that's a very, very hard compound there to be on, so I think he'll be struggling early on in this race. But we're going to go 3 wide into this next corner, into turn 3. Can we pull it off? We're going to go around the outside of Ricciardo. Ricciardo holds the inside of this contact between the two Red Bulls. We're going to switch back underneath Ricciardo. Can we make the move stick? Yes, we do. We're going to have a sniff of Verstappen as well up the inside of turn 4, I think it is. Can we make it? We're going to go up the inside, side-by-side action here with the Dutchman. Oh, it's so close. Verstappen leaving us the room, squeezing onto the apex. Verstappen just gets there around the outside, and great job there from the Dutchman on them tyres. But this is a hectic start to the race, and we're not done yet as we get a great run on Verstappen through there. We're just going to try and thread the car through these final corners, and now we're going to try and make a move, unleash the Ferrari power unit and try and get past Verstappen. Here we go, picking up a nice bit of slipstream here on Verstappen. We're going to pull to the inside, can make the move on the brakes into turn 1. We're going to go for it nice and late, leaving the room on the exit just about, and we get the move this time up into P2 so far. I've got to say, Kimi Raikkonen's pace is absolutely mental. On the exact same tyre and in the same car as me, he's absolutely flying, and I can't even match his lap times. It's absolutely ridiculous how quick he is, and I'm falling behind tenths per sector here. So Raikkonen really putting on a clinic here at Austria, and almost a statement that he wants this World Championship. Okay, so I'm going to pit early on here. I don't like the rear tyres on this car. I'm losing the rears already. They're spinning way out of control. So I'm going to pit in nice and early at the end of lap 5 and try and get some fresh tyres and some fresh boots and try and push harder. I've got to say also, I wouldn't say I'm at risk of getting fired, but my driver rating has been at a 10 for the entirety of this career mode, no less than like an 8 or a 7. And right now, I'm currently on a 3. I haven't shown you guys, but I'm currently on a 3 driver rating. And if I lose this race, or lose it to Raikkonen, should I say, I'll be under severe pressure from Ferrari, just a severe threat of me getting fired. So I really need to try and pull one out of the bag here today and try and get a result back, because I need to really re-establish my dominance as the lead driver in the team. So let's try and crack on here on these soft tyres. Okay, so I'm right back at Danny Kvyat. He's struggling on these soft tyres. They are getting a little bit second hand now, so we're going to try and pull off a move on the Russian. We can't waste any time as Raikkonen is now in the pit lane, so it's going to be interesting to see what tyre puts on, but I'm hoping he gets held up in traffic, because that's the only chance I'm going to have this race of gaining some time on him. So let's just hope he gets stuck in a bit of traffic. But here we go, past Marcus Ericsson now up the inside of turn 8. This should be a fairly simple move on the Swedish driver. There we go, run a little bit wide there, just couldn't get the back end under control. We're now up into P7. Valtteri Bottas is next on the list, but let's see where Kimi Raikkonen is on the mini-map to see where, if I get an idea, is, and he's kind of just ahead of traffic, which is not good for me, which means I'm going to have to slice through these cars and get past them if I want to try and catch him on track. So Raikkonen really doing the job here, and he's got the bit between his teeth this race. Okay, so we're pretty close to Carlos Sainz here. We should pick up DRS. He's going to get DRS off of Sergio Perez, but if we get the traction off of here, which we have done, we should be able to pull off a move here on the Spanish driver. I've got to say, Raikkonen's pace is on another level. He just set the fast lap of the Grand Prix a few laps ago, and it's 1.5 seconds faster than what I've been able to set. So Raikkonen is on another planet this race, and no one can touch him. I don't know how I'm going to try and get past him this race, but it's going to be a massive ask. Here we are then, right at the back of Sergio Perez now. I'm going to try and pick up some slipstream on the Mexican, and then try and wait for the move into turn 2. Also, if I can get DRS now down the back straight, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now we're going to pull to the inside, go nice and late on the brakes, and make the move on Sergio. Just going to try and squeeze him a little bit there, pick up the traction, open up the DRS, and there we go, make the move, and we've got past Sergio Perez. And up next is Lewis Hamilton. Or not, because there's a yellow flag, so something's gone on here. And I think, speaking of Lewis Hamilton, I think I might have just jinxed him, and I think Hamilton might have had some problem, and he's going slow. So Hamilton with issues here in Austria, something's wrong with his car. I wonder if he's maybe got a puncture. That's possible. Yeah, I can see a puncture in his left front there. So Lewis Hamilton with a puncture in the Austrian Grand Prix. So a very unfortunate one there for Lewis Hamilton. But it looks like he's going to be having to come in for an emergency pit stop on those tyres. And I just wonder if he stayed out too long on those ultra softs, sorry, those super softs, because he hasn't pit yet this race, and the tyres are going off a little bit quicker than what everyone expected. So I think he might be struggling with some very severe tyre wear. So looking at a replay as to what happened to Lewis Hamilton, I did speculate at the start in the live commentary there was a puncture, and I think right about now, bang, there it goes on the left front on the exit of turn 3. Lewis Hamilton gets a pretty poor puncture there on the exit of 3. Okay, so Raikkonen pits. So he's already bailing off of those super soft tyres. To be fair, the gap had literally plateaued around 11 seconds. I was starting to actually pick up the pace a little bit and match him for lap time. So Kimi obviously not liking them super softs and switching over to the soft tyre. I'm guessing now he's going to go to the end of the race on those. So he's going to go nice and long on those tyres, and then we're going to switch over to super softs for the next stint. So hopefully we can gain some ground on him in the next and final stint. Okay, so Verstappen's in the pit lane. He's gone on to super softs, and I'm just wondering, is Verstappen going to pull off the one stop, which would be absolutely incredible? And there's Verstappen there on just on the inside. So he's actually going to come out between myself and Kimi Raikkonen. So out of nowhere, Raikkonen with his alien pace has been trumped by Verstappen on the one-stop strategy. So Verstappen doing brilliantly on the soft tyre to get as far as he did, and that's basically put a wedge between myself and Kimi Raikkonen. Not just that, Verstappen is an outsider of the title, it's not Ricciardo, so that is brilliant for me. It's going to help me out a treat for the World Championship. So I'm going to take a page out of Verstappen's book and pit for Supersauce probably at the end of this lap, if not the next. Oh my god, Verstappen's so quick. Here he goes up the inside of turn 8. We've got Hulkenberg coming into the pit lane there. We're going to go side by side into the final corner. I'm going to switch back underneath Max Verstappen. I've got no rear tyres there. We've both got DRS, and also Kimi Raikkonen lurking in behind us in the mirrors. I'm going to have to sit behind Verstappen here and just wait for my moment. I'm going to try and pick up slipstream, but I've got no grip on these tyres. I'm really struggling. Verstappen on the fresh super softs just pulling away and leaving me in the dust. And here comes Kimi now, and I've got to fight with Kimi because even though he's on a different strategy, he is my championship rival, so we've got to try and squeeze him out here, make sure he doesn't make the move back on me. I'm going to squeeze him there a little bit, pick up the DRS, and there we go. Kimi stays behind us for a little while longer, but I'm really struggling on these tyres, and this race has been a very, very big disappointment because even though I'm going to be in like P3 or P4, these tyres, all the ones I've used so far have just been poor, and the grip's just not been there for some reason. I've just had no performance, and I'm at a loss of words to explain what's going on in this race and why my pace has been so poor. Okay, so here we go then into the pit lane for my final stop this race. Going to take it nice and easy, leave Kimi the room, actually cross the white line a little bit there, but we've got a Renault in the pit lane ahead of us, which hopefully shouldn't distract us too much. But here we go, slowing it all down, make sure that we get the speed limit, and we're going to go on to a set of super soft tyres, and the question is, where are we going to rejoin? Because we've got Nico Rosberg down on softs, also not too far down the road. A 2-second pit stop, not too shabby. But now the question is, I'm worried how long these tyres are going to last, because the ultras and the softs have not lasted particularly long. So let's just see how this race pans out. But so far, I've not really enjoyed it that much. So we are going to rejoin in P3. So that's a guaranteed finishing position for us, unless something happens up the road. It's actually so much fun being able to just push as hard as you want for a little while. Makes a nice change, because this race has been a struggle up to this point. Got yellow flag behind. Alonso is out of the race. Could that trigger a safety car and a last minute swerve in the Austrian Grand Prix? I'm hoping that's the case, but it looks like nothing's triggered so far, but hopefully we get something out of that. Fingers crossed. Looks like nothing's come from it just yet, so it could just be a simple retirement for a change, but a safety car would have been very welcome there if that was the case, but I don't think we're going to get it now. So just looking at a replay of what happened to Fernando Alonso, and as you can see, going into the third corner, he's all going well for him so far, just hitting the braking point, making sure he gets his car slowed down, hitting the apex quite nicely there, and then on the exit, I think now, there you go, the engine just goes, and the Honda power unit just has enough. Alonso pulls over to the side of the track, and that is the end of his Austrian Grand Prix, and he's out of the race. Oh, Carlos Sainz is now out of the race, so another one drops. Will this trigger a safety car? This would be interesting. I'm hoping that it does, because I've still got a chance if it does come out, but it looks like, yeah, again, no, yes, we have. We've got the safety car. This time, this is the one. So now we are going to pit. This is a chance that we have. So we are going to come in this lap. So we're going to come in for a set of ultra soft tyres and just hopefully push as hard as we can on those tyres once the safety car comes back in. So here we go then. We're going to come in for an unscheduled pit stop here. I don't think anyone else is coming in, so we've got a good chance of recovering this position. So here we go into the pit lane. We're going to slow down, hit our marks, make sure we don't speed. And now it's the question of the mechanics giving us a nice quick stop. And fingers crossed, I'd like to say we've got a good chance of rejoining in P3 here, which is brilliant, because that was going to put us right behind Raikkonen and Verstappen. And out of nowhere, we've had a second chance after the Alonso incident. We've now got a second chance thanks to Carlos Sainz, so the Spaniards there doing us a favour. So let's have a look, see what happened to Carlos Sainz, and it looks like both Spaniards are retired from this race. And will it be for the same issue as his countryman? Yes, it is. And there goes the Ferrari power unit. So Sainz's engine up in smoke, and that is the end of his Austrian Grand Prix. And a very disappointing one for him, and also I think the country of Spain as a whole, as both of their drivers are out of this race. Okay, so the safety car is coming in this lap, and also light rain is just 5 minutes away, so the restart's going to go underway here any second. So we've got a lot of lap cars to get past here, so we need to be very quick and very, very efficient. We've got 2 laps to do this, so let's give it a good old crack as we go green here once again in Austria. We've got to get past all this traffic, so let's make light work of them all and try and get past as many as we can on the straight. So we get past both the manners there quite comfortably. Okay, here we go then. We're going to get into the second half of the lap. Can we try and get Verstappen and Raikkonen there? A bit far away. We've only got a few corners to go, but I'm going to give it a good old shot here. Make most of these ultra soft tyres, which are fresh. Try and get on the gas as much as we can here. Purple middle sector. We are a little bit far back. I'm going to try something out the final corner here. So here we go. Into the last 2 corners. Can we salvage anything in this Austrian Grand Prix? I'm giving it everything I got. Into the final corner, picking up the traction in the exit. Can we get Raikkonen across the line? It's going to be so close, but we just can't get him. And it's going to be P3 with the fastest lap of the race. And we just couldn't get Verstappen or Raikkonen. There was too many lap cars, and the gap was just too big for me to do anything or have any sort of impact in those last 2 laps. I need probably one more lap, and I might have had them both. But overall, that doesn't hide the fact that this race was quite poor for me. I think I really struggled quite a lot for just overall pace. Verstappen with a brilliant strategy there, just opting for the one stop, playing it nice and safe, taking it nice and easy on his tyres, going super long on the soft tyre, making it work, which is something that me and Kimi couldn't really do. And he's the top step on the podium in the Red Bull Ring in his home race, or should I say the team's home race. So a great result there for Max Verstappen, and you could say it's his home race because a lot of his own fans actually do travel down to this Grand Prix, I believe, in real life. And third step of the podium. Technically, we started P4, so it was a successful race in that aspect, but the pace was quite concerning that race, and my teammate Kimi Raikkonen was so much faster than me. But overall, a well-deserved 15 points. So we move on to the next race, which I believe is the British Grand Prix. So there we have it. That was the Austrian Grand Prix, a very decent race in the end. And even though the pace was not there, we managed to make a bit of an interesting race come the end of it, and almost got a race win if we just had one more lap. But crucially, Raikkonen didn't win the race, which is very important for the championship, and Ricciardo finished behind us. As you can see, looking at the drivers' championship, we're 20 points behind Raikkonen, but only 13 behind Ricciardo. So the gap is not getting too big, which is good to see. But finally, looking at the constructors, you can see that we're actually extending our gap over Red Bull and keeping the gap around 40 points. So overall, a very successful Austrian Grand Prix with a 2-3 for Ferrari. But nevertheless, if you guys did enjoy the video, then a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you could subscribe to my channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And also, if you haven't missed any of the videos on screen right now, I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But nevertheless, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.